Hi again, I am back with another flow. This flow is loosely based off of one of our clients. All of the information here is fake. I've recreated this information just so that we wouldn't reveal anything about our customers. But in this scenario, what our client was looking for was they had they were getting a lot of leads and they needed a process where they could um, score those leads and then act upon those specific scores and send out very personalized, customizable type emails for each one of those specific leads, depending on what kind of a priority lead it was. Right. So let's take you through it. Now, this is one of the bigger flows I've shown here, but it might look a little bit scary, but I'm going to take you step by step and you'll realize it's actually not scary at all. Okay, great. So this entire flow basically runs off of one input. It's this box right here. This box is where you would type in notes about maybe you had a conversation with the lead, you took a bunch of notes, put them in here, and it would pass it through this flow. Or it could be that you had an online conversation with this lead and you have an audio file or a video. We could transcribe that video or that audio file and then pass it through this flow. Or it could be that your customer had they filled out a form online, and we have notes that will grab that information and then pass it through this flow. So again, all you have to do is basically type in notes from a customer conversation and then hit this button up here and it'll run through this flow and get and basically craft an email just for that person. Okay, so let's explain the next part here. Our customer created a lead scoring table or model that had something similar to this, where it had ages, age, annual income, marital status. These are different categories or different ways that of different components of like a lead, right? And each one of these categories had a specific criteria and points that you would base off of that criteria. Then, after finishing that exercise, then we would, depending on what the total score is, we would assign them a specific threshold, like high priority lead, moderate lead, low priority, etc. Okay, so the first step that we did was basically feed in all of the notes and this model. This is our data pull node, and basically you can connect to Google and pull in any of your sheets or Google Docs, and then it grabs that information. Now, why we would do that is because, well, if the model doesn't change ever, then you don't need to do this. But if the model perhaps might change or changes a lot, then you would want to do this, because every time we run this flow, it would go and grab the latest information. Okay, so I'm going to read this prompts to you so that you recognize that it's not as hard as you think to prompt AI. I have given you a lead assessment, this box, and a lead scoring model, this box. Can you grade the customer, right? List out all the scoring categories and their scores and give us a total score. Okay, so what they did is, as you can see, they got the age, the annual income, marital status, and they're giving them the specific scores. And then at the end, they give you a total score. Okay. Now, with this score, the next step of the flow here is to decide what threshold this person will be in, right? So that's what this node does. Basically, take the total score and decide the category it's in. That's it. It's really simple. And the category here, because I think the total score was 60, it put in moderate. So as you can see, it gave me the moderate. And then what I did was put it through our decision path node. So it basically, if it's a high priority, it's going to take them to this node right here. If it's a moderate priority, it's going to take it to this node, etc. Right? And then each one of these nodes are just very specific instructions on how to write the email. Like, for example, the high priority email, basically what we're saying is that the main purpose for the email is to schedule a property tour or a virtual tour. So that'll be the first thing that comes up in that email. But if you have a low priority customer, then maybe the main focus of that is to just sign up for our newsletter or follow us on social media, right? And you can craft these whichever way you want. Okay, now let me pause there for a second because I forgot to push the button here to run this flow. I've created some extra information here to make this demo a little bit easier. This one was a moderate, so let's just change to a high priority lead here. So these are like specific notes that you've taken for the customer. Oh shoot, let me zoom in here so you know. So we're changing the last one was this person, and then now it's this person. So let's run the flow, and then I'm going to continue the instruction. So as you can see, it's going through the flow and each one of these pieces, right? Now, let's talk about this email. The other thing that this customer wanted was they wanted a very customized, personalized email, right? So let's talk about all the things that we're feeding into this node to do that, right? So first, we're going to feed it our customer intake form. That's all of the notes, as you can see. And I'll explain what it's doing, but just there's a line going over towards that area, right? Then there's another thing, calendar events, right? This was cool. So they have a list of calendar events that are happening throughout the year. And it has specific dates. And so what we did is we did our data pull node, right? Where it went and grabbed all those events. And because LLMs don't understand the date, they don't know what today's date is, we used one of our function nodes to call today's date, right? So it gave us the most accurate date right now and with time and everything. So now we're feeding today's date and we're feeding the calendar of events into our email or onto the AI, and it's going to know what events have already happened, and it's going to list the next 3 or 4 events. So this could be really great because then you can just continually add events. This is going to pull the latest information and always give your users the latest events or the most upcoming events. The next thing is we'll give it some information about our company, and we'll give it some information about the salesperson. Now, I could have connected every one of these nodes or these blocks into each one of these nodes to feed in and create those emails. But one of the tricks of the trade here is to just add them all to one text node right here. So you can drag out a text box and just add them in here. Now that aggregates everything that you need to pass, and then you only have to connect one of these boxes into all of these. So that's all it's doing. So if you can see this node right here, basically all we're doing is we are passing all of the combined company and customer information here, and then we have the prompt for the email writing in here, and that's it. So it might look a little bit scary, but it's actually very simple. Okay, so let's look at this email, right? As you noticed, the last email it wrote was a moderate priority email, but this time it gave out the right one. So okay, so I wrote this email. We asked it to focus on, let's see here, reach out to assist you on finding the perfect priority. We specialize in luxury. So it gives a little bit of information about the companies. I would like to invite you for an exclusive tour of our urban living condos, right? And then it gives, oh, right. So we also have several upcoming events, as we were talking about. Open house and urban living condos, investment, high yields, given your interest in both primary residences and investment properties, right? So now it understands, it remembers the notes or recognizes the notes, knows what they're interested in, and crafts this pretty It's pretty solid email. And we can continue crafting the email so it's in the right voice. But the last two steps, these are really cool. What happens is that LLM, because it's looking at a lot of stuff, sometimes it focuses more on this thing and kind of misses some stuff here and there. So what we did is I added another step where it audits the email. So I basically all I did was I fed it this box right here. This is the current email or the email that it wrote, and then I fed it all the information that it would take to write the email, right? So as you can see in the prompt, super simple. You're a helpful assistant that double checks automatic emails that are about to be sent to our leads. Can you tell us what should be corrected before sending the email, please? Okay, great. So as you can see here, oh, well, the subject line is clear and engaging, so no changes needed. Dear Ria is appropriate, no changes needed. Maybe, we can tweak that as well to make sure that we get it right. I hope this email finds you well. This phrase is polite, but it can be omitted, etc. So it gives you lots of really good feedback on this email. And then the last step is to write the final email. And I have been quite impressed by the before and after on these emails, and it is pretty amazing. So, okay, the things I didn't show you and I haven't put into this flow is that all of this can work within your own UI. So we can send this out as an email so that it ends in your inbox, and then you can like resend it, or maybe we send it through a connection to HubSpot or however you'd like it. So there's lots of different ways to get this artifact. Anyways, that's the flow for today, and I hope you enjoyed it.